Hey there! So today I have something a little different for you all. I've been noticing a lot of YouTubers in the manga collecting community releasing manga haul videos, where they essentially just show the books they've recently acquired. I really enjoy watching those myself, so I figured I would give it a shot. Now, to be honest, I'm not sure if I'll be doing those too often. Usually the ones I've seen are monthly hauls. I don't buy enough manga monthly to warrant making these videos every month. For example, in this one, I'll be combining the months of October and November to make it a bigger haul video than if I would have just picked October. So maybe bi-monthly sounds more realistic for this channel. I watch some of these videos and it's like 150 volumes this month, huge haul. And that's way more than I usually get by a long shot. If I get 12 books in a month, that's a pretty big month. So we'll see. Anyway, let's get into it. But before we get started, I'd like to welcome you to MangAnalysis, where I do little reviews of the manga I've been reading. If you like what you see and you'd like to see more, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. Maybe even leave a comment. Let's get a conversation going. The first one I'll be showing is Burn the Witch by Tite Kubo. I have never read a single volume of Bleach, nor have I even read a chapter, but I've heard that you didn't really need to read Bleach to enjoy this book. I was really attracted by the characters, and honestly, this cover jacket is quite nice. Thank you, Getlin, for the staff pick recommendation. I did not need you. I was going to pick this up anyway, but it's cool to see that people recommend this. Next book is Hell's Paradise, number 11. This series is coming to a close. Only 2 books left. I'm really excited. I'm really enjoying this series. The way it's ending so far anyway sounds really promising. Bold of them to add a few new characters at this stage in the story. But they're interesting and I can't wait to learn more about them. Next we have Rent a Really Shy Girlfriend, which is a spin-off focusing on one character from the series, Rent a Girlfriend. This was a little underwhelming. I don't know what I was expecting because it's just a girl that's really shy as the main protagonist, so she doesn't speak a lot. And for some reason that surprised me, even though I knew exactly what I was getting in, but I still enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it a few more books before I decide whether or not I'm gonna continue with this one. Next we have Blue Period, number 5. This was probably my favorite of the 5 books so far. I really enjoyed this one. Yeah, it was just really nice. Sometimes I procrastinate reading this series just because, there's not too much that goes on in this one. And especially like I mentioned in my video about this one, I'm an artist myself. So when they're still at the point where they're learning about, how to paint and stuff, it's not necessarily the most interesting, but this one went really deep into character development and character conflicts, and it was really interesting. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Children of the Whales, number 18. All right, man, this series needs to end soon. I am losing interest real fast. I'm not trying to say this is a bad series, everyone. This is a lovely series that has really interesting art, a really interesting concept. It's just, I think it's dragging out a little long. It's not doing it for me the way it did in the first few books. So I'm hoping, at this point, I could see an ending around book 22 or so, but we'll see. Next series is Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. Really enjoying this series. It's really funny. It's low stakes. You read it and you kind of forget about it until the next book. And I mean that in a good way. It doesn't take too much space. You don't need to think about it. It's just really good. Good, well-written entertainment, and I'm looking forward to continuing this series. Drifting Dragons, number 10. So this book was also extremely good. I'm really excited about where it's going. One of my favorite characters, who is hinted from early on to have a mysterious past, is being developed quite a lot in this book. Well, kind of. Anyways, you'd have to read it to get it, but I'm excited to know more. The new dragons coming in are really cool looking, and yeah, this is always a good series, and it's always one of the first ones I read when I get a big haul. All right, Pleasure and Corruption. So definitely not going to talk a lot about this one. Again, it's kind of like some softcore hentai that has a plot, and the plot is, I'm not going to lie and tell you that the plot is very compelling, but it's pretty good. This book was definitely the weakest This is number 4. This one really was not great. The other ones were, though. I'll vouch for the other ones, but this one... So, I got all 9 books. So the 9th one just got in yesterday, which is actually a little early. I think on my cart it said that it was supposed to arrive on the 7th of December. So this one came here early, which I'm super excited about. Actually, I think originally it was supposed to come out in November and then it got delayed, but I'm not sure. And yeah, I got all these books in the last few weeks. I really enjoyed the first 2, and all of them just the same. There's not one weak book in this so far for me. I'm enjoying the entire series. It's good stuff. I highly recommend, like you might have seen in the video that I did for the series. It's good stuff. Alright, so this is My Hero Vigilantes book 11. I'm really enjoying the series, like I mentioned in my collection video. I think it's really well done. And this book in particular was really interesting because they feature characters from the main series that I never thought would get any more development than they did in the original series. They were just kind of like B-plot characters, and they have a really good spot in here. And this one goes into the past of one of the main characters that you've been wondering about since essentially the first few books. So this was a really good read, and yeah, and this was really good fan service in the sense that they really deliver on some things that you've been wanting to know since the first few books. So good stuff. All right, and here we have Wolf and Parchment number 2. So not gonna lie, I don't know if I'll continue this series. I'm gonna give it to the 3rd book, and then I'll make up my mind. I picked this up because I'm a huge fan of Spice and Wolf, and I'm not gonna lie, this one is not doing it for me the same way that Spice and Wolf did. I think I would actually really enjoy this one, maybe more as a light novel or even as an anime, especially as an anime. But the manga one, I don't know. The art is beautiful. The art is really nice. I'm just not as interested in the main characters as I was with Holo and Lawrence. So we'll see. I'll give it one more book and then I'll decide. Alright, next. So another thing I got this month, which I think was pretty cool, is I finished my Rooney Tension. So as you saw in the last video, I just mentioned that I had gotten all of them, and I had gotten all of them just before I filmed the video. So I'm really excited. I got the 3-in-1/4-in-1 volumes here. I got all 28 volumes. I found out some pretty unsavory stuff about the author recently, which really bummed me out. I kind of wish I would have known that before I collected the series, but regardless, separate the author from the creator from his work, I guess, is something that you can do. I'm not going to talk about what he did on here, but if you're curious, you can go on the Wikipedia page. Moving on. Alright, next up is Chainsaw Man. So I recently got a little bit more Chainsaw Man books. I had mentioned, I think in my video, I was only missing the 6th one. So I was able to read, though, till book 1 to 5, and I'm really enjoying it. I was, I understood that there was hype around it for a long time, but now that I finally had an opportunity to read it, I get it. It's super good. There's been thousands of videos about it on the internet. I feel like I'd like to make one eventually, but I'd like to finish the series first. So, it'll come late, and I don't know if people will still care about Chainsaw Man at that point, but that's okay. I'm excited to say stuff about it. Alright, next up we have Spy Family, number 6. The 7th, I think, is coming out in a while, I believe. So that sucks, but this was an awesome book. I think it was one of my favorites out of all the books that came out. In particular, this character, I really like her. I think she's really funny. Yeah, so Spy Family, big thumbs up for me. I'd like to make a proper video about Spy Family. So far, I've only recommended it in my videos I'd recommend to anyone, which still stands, but yeah, I'd like to make a proper video for this one. Next up, we have the 4th book of Corps Solitaire, which I'm reading in French. I don't know that it is available in English in book format. Yeah, so I mentioned this in my last video, but the series starts as if it's going to talk about asexual relationships, which is interesting, which is something that, not a lot of people talk about, and it's definitely not about that. It's just about a sexless relationship that leads to the two parties cheating and then feeling guilty about it. So it's, not the sickest plot, but it's interesting. I'm gonna keep reading it. I don't think this is a series that's gonna go on forever. I really hope it doesn't. It doesn't really seem like it can sustain itself for that long. So, I'm always happy to have a shorter series in my collection. Platinum End, number 14. So this was, I think, in my opinion, the best book out of all 14. It was a really good ending, in my opinion, and I made a video about it recently on my channel. Definitely, if you're reading the series or you're buying it and you're not sure if you should continue because you may not love it that much, which was the case with me, I'm telling you, the ending, it makes it all worth it. So it's good stuff. Next up, we have Gleipnir, number 9. Okay, so this series is weird for me because they come out with there's a big amount of time that goes by in between each book, so I always forget what happens. So then I'm never excited about it, but then I read the book and I'm like, oh my god, this was sick, can't wait for the next one, and then I forget about it, and then so it's a big cycle. But I'm really enjoying it. Every time I read one of the books, I kind of remember how excited I am about the series. I think I'd like to make a video on this one, but I think I'd like to wait till it's done. Definitely check it out. A Girl from the Other Side, the last book of the series. So I have a confession to make. I haven't actually finished this book yet. I haven't even started it. I'm feeling this sort of dread about finishing this series. So what I like to do is I'd like to reread the whole thing so that I can get the full experience for the final volume. The only thing about that is I need the time to reread the whole thing, and right now I'm not really finding that time. So who knows when I'll finish it, but I'm excited and sad at the same time. I don't know if all of you have seen, but the anime adaptation was shown recently and it looks absolutely beautiful. I didn't think that I would enjoy an anime adaptation of this, but it looks absolutely beautiful. So fingers crossed that it holds up. Okay, so next up is Noragami 23. So I have to say, this is another one of those series that books come out so rarely, essentially, that I kind of don't get too motivated because I know I have to go back in the last book and whatever. This was the best Noragami book, I think, in a long time, maybe ever. This was an exceptionally good volume. Super excited about it. I feel like my motivation and passion for the series has come back. Really enjoyed this. I didn't really need to reread the last book. Maybe even the last one was really good. It made a really good impression. But yeah, this was, oh man, great book. Good stuff. And finally for this video is the Mashle books. So the 3 first volumes. So I made a video about this. I actually really like this series. I had some concerns about it, and I'm sure those concerns are still valid in the next few volumes. But whatever, man, this is super funny. I'm really looking forward to more of it. So yeah, Mashle 1, 2, and 3. Okay, well that was all the books that I have for you today. So let's cut to the outro.
Well, that was my October-November haul. Let me know in the comments below if this is something you'd like to see more of. I'll always be getting more manga, so there's always going to be a possibility for these types of videos. This was really fun. It really gave me an opportunity to look at what I had acquired in the last 2 months. And, sometimes when you look at your Indigo cart, you think, oh, wow, I'm only getting these amount of books. But then when you see them all laid out on the table, 30 books is kind of a lot. Yeah, it's good stuff. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did indeed enjoy it, consider subscribing. This was MangAnalysis, and I'll see you in the next one.